Yo, what's up YouTube? It's been a long time, a couple years since I made a video. Here I am again, and this time the world is in a wild state of affairs. So anyways, a lot of people have been asking me still, how's my psoriasis doing? People always want an update, and so here I am to give you one. Same as usual, kind of got a little bit on my forehead, here and there, sometimes shows up here, usually when I eat poorly for too long, and but generally still clear, about 95%. One of the things I wanted to bring up in this video is get out of here. So I'm living in Georgia now. There's a ton of bugs in Atlanta, not like Vegas, similar to Boston. A lot of bugs in Boston too, but one of the things I wanted to bring up in this video is vaccinations. You know, with this whole COVID thing going on, you can say what you want. I'm not even going to get into the debate and the numbers and all that stuff, but there's plenty of evidence that says that this is just nonsense. The way that we've handled it in terms of shutting the country down and doing all this stuff, not warranted, in my opinion. So one of the things that they're talking about, Bill Gates, Fauci, all those guys, is about, mandatory vaccines moving forward. That's been like kind of a fringe topic, but also a hot topic all at the same time, if that makes any sense. It's there. They kind of allude to it, but no one straight up comes out and says it. So yeah, I'll never tell you what to do, but I'll give you my personal opinion and why. If anybody, these friggin' flies, man. If anybody knows my story originally, one of the biggest things, or probably the biggest contributing factor to my psoriasis, I believe, was the Tdap vaccination, which I got, about 2 weeks before my psoriasis started. For a long time, I thought it was, solely due to the antibiotics. I think that can exacerbate it, but I think realistically, when you look at the timeline and kind of put two and two together, I know for a fact that harmed me physically, internally. There's nothing anybody could say otherwise to convince me that is not true, because I know what it felt like. You start going through all of the the ingredients that are in vaccines: aluminum, formaldehyde, mercury, which is also thimerosal. Don't let people start arguing, oh, methyl mercury versus ethyl mercury, etc., or that our body makes formaldehyde. Yes, it does, but it's not the same. The way that a foreign substance or any substance enters your body makes a huge difference. That's why you can put alcohol on your cuts, but you can't put alcohol in your fucking eye, right? Excuse me for swearing. You can't put alcohol in your eye, right? It's not the same entry point. It's not the same thing. So injecting things straight into the bloodstream is not the same as eating them or, ingesting them or snorting them. Like, it's just, there's different modes for everything. And the substance going in can affect you differently. And that's a fact. So yeah, if they make that stuff mandatory, absolutely not for me. Never will. And if people try to make the argument that the vaccine only works if everybody gets it, well, then it doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense. It either works or it doesn't, which allows you, the consumer, or the whatever, to make a decision based on your feelings, your opinions, your knowledge, because not everybody has the same knowledge. So if people want to get it for themselves and they think that's the right thing to do, I don't agree with you, but that's your call. Go for it. But don't push that on people as if they need to do what you are doing because you think you know what you know. Because if you've ever been injured by a vaccine, or have ever had anybody who has, or know of anybody who has, a loved one, etc., you know for a fact that it's poison. There's ingredients in those things that you do not ever want to inject in your bloodstream, ever. So yeah, anyways, it's nice out. And when the world's in a state of disarray, the only thing I know how to do is just to like move. Otherwise I go insane. So I've been very, what's the word? Not active, you know, for the last couple of months with this whole, you know, the city shutting down. Everybody who knows me closely knows that I've been super against that, but there's nothing I can do personally to control an entire city and the way other people feel. So yeah, I was going out trying to get, you know, I don't drink coffee that often anymore, as you guys know, but I do still drink it sometimes. And I would try to go get a coffee. Places were just shut down because they think everyone's gonna die. And magically, that wasn't the case. So anyways, I'm gonna do a little challenge. This is more just for me, but I guess since I'm here, we'll do it. If anybody wants to join me, 100 push-ups, 100 air squats every day for a month. Let's see what happens, because right now I'm just looking like a pasty, pale, white sack of bones. I need to change that. All right, let's do it. Oh. Let's try to do it in the sunlight though, huh? Let's try to do it in the sunlight. Let's get that sunlight. We all know that vitamin D. That vitamin D is where it's at. All right. We're gonna try to do 5 sets of 20s. I think that's the best way to break this up. Oh. I feel like I have to say something entertaining in between these sets. Probably not gonna get that from me. Doing a lot of self-reflection lately. All right, set number 2. Getting tired already. The ground is not level. Should probably count out loud so I can remember. I think that was 20 though. You ready? Started growing my own garden recently. It'll get bigger soon, but so it's my backyard and they just did the rocks for the driveway. So I had the garden where the rocks were, because it got the most sun, and I had to move it. So now I'm gonna make this whole back part a garden. So let's see what we got here. I am so out of shape. This is awful. I don't know if you can see it. I can't see because the glare on the computer screen or the phone. We've got some tomato plants. Got some chives down there, if you can see those. Several pepper plants, some basil. These are both tomatoes too. We got 4 more pepper plants and some squash. And old organic soil that I brought in, organic compost. Kind of excited about it, not gonna lie. Where'd my little rock go? All right. Set number 3. Oh, this deep stretch feels good right now. Bugs need to go. Is that 60? Yep. Not cool. Quick break. So I started growing my own garden because, you know, the world might end apparently. We've got locust swarms, viruses, pandemics, craziness. Just makes you wonder, you know, if the stores really did shut down, like what would you do? It's just a legitimate thought I had a couple months ago. And I was like, well, right now I'd be screwed. So let's change that, just in case. Just in case. Oh, I didn't want this video to go too long. I feel like I've had to do these 2 more sets and wait. It's gonna be a 20-minute video. We all know how you feel about 20-minute videos. I know it's long. Maybe I'll try to edit this one. I've never edited one of my videos before. Mostly because it's a lot of work, and then also because I think it takes away authenticity of any kind. You know, anybody can make cuts and edits and do the take 15 times to get it right. So it's not a bad thing. It's just different, you know. Depends on what you prefer. These bugs are like ludicrous right now. I've sat out here before and didn't think it was that bad. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. All right, let's go. This ground is not level. For the push-ups, it doesn't bother me that much, but when I'm doing squats, it's like I feel off balance the entire time. Oh, I can feel my form just struggling. Muscles compensating everywhere. That's how you know it's been way too long. Way too long. It's been several weeks since I did more than like 20 push-ups. Now to do 100 in a day. All right. Oh, I like that stretch. I have to go a little wide stance on these. I've had poison ivy on my legs for the last almost 3 weeks at this point, because the old garden, it was all over brush and all this stuff growing out in the back of it, and I kind of like weeded everything away to get the garden situated, and then I was misinformed about the plants that were in there. So I was told it was just Virginia creeper and that it's harmless. I mean, Virginia creeper kind of looks like poison ivy, but definitely not the same. It's itching all over my legs. Had it on my stomach, which cleared up pretty quickly actually. Put on my ankle. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not, because it's pretty much looks like a scar at this point. All right, last set and I'll let you guys go. Let's go. Fuck. I'm struggling right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Struggling. Let's do 10 and 10 maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 more. 10 more of each. 1, 8. My muscles are just struggling. 9, 10. Those are ugly. Those were ugly. Ugly, fam. Oh, there we go. All right, closing time. Let's reiterate. Don't let anybody force you to believe that what they believe is true. That's it. Whether it's vaccines, doesn't matter what it is. If you know certain information and somebody else doesn't, it just is what it is. You may never convince them, and they may never convince you. But use what you can prove. Don't use what he said, what she said. You can always find a study online, excuse me, that says one or the other. If you go looking, we'll use vaccines as an example because it's a good one. If you go look up, you know, are vaccines harmful? you'll find a bunch of stuff and a bunch of people that say they're not. If you go looking and say, are vaccines harmful? You'll go up and you'll look and you'll find a bunch of people who say they are and a bunch of studies that say they are as well. So there's no, when that happens, it comes down to what you can prove, right? Because both sides have information from, quote, experts that you can find that support what you're saying. Neither you or the other person who's arguing against you can prove either of those studies. That if they did them themselves, usually not. You can almost guarantee that they never have, right? So that is, it's an argument that is based on appealing to authority, right? There's no, other than how they feel about the situation and finding information about how they feel about the situation, they could never prove it to you. So don't let people, especially like the hive mob mentality, bully you into believing or choosing what they want you to choose solely because they think it's correct. Yeah, if my thoughts are a little scattered at the end here, it's because I'm tired and trying to catch my breath, but you get the idea. Anyways, till then, avoid dairy, avoid gluten, avoid sugar, avoid alcohol, avoid coffee. I know I do some of them once in a while. You gotta live a little, YOLO, right? But on a general 95% of your day-to-day, dealings, just avoid that stuff and you'll be very happy that you did. It'll help your skin tremendously. Boom, I'm out.